Well, the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County made major steps in reopening on Monday, and on Tuesday, the state of Missouri will fully reopen. But over the weekend, we got a really good question from Joanne Buick. She wanted to know why we keep showing downward trends for local numbers when it comes to COVID-19, but Missouri is one of a handful of states across the country that's actually reporting an uptick in cases. Well, Dr. Alex Garza, who leads the St. Louis Metro Pandemic Task Force, says there are a couple of things to consider with that. For starters, there are other cities and counties in Missouri, places that could see their spike in cases a little later than when we saw ours.
I read recently about an increase in cases in the Kansas City area. This may be something to do with that, where there wasn't as much penetration in the community as there was in St. Louis, and so now there is. There could be any number of variables that are contributing to that, including the increased amount of testing.
Which of course increases your chances of finding a positive case. But there is something else to pay attention to, and that is the positivity rate. That is the number of people who test positive compared to everyone that you tested. So think about it this way. If I tell you there are 5 positive cases, that number means something different if I only tested 10 people versus if I found 5 positive cases in 50 people. So that's important to think about, and that's what this graph shows us for the entire state of Missouri. Last week, 3.37% of people tested for COVID-19 in the state had the virus. And you can actually see for the past 5 weeks, that percentage has hovered around the 4% mark. And the spike that we see happened 2 months ago on the week of April 5th. Now, we can't show you the positivity rate for the St. Louis area because we don't have local data that shows us the total number of people who were tested, but there are some things we can show you, like the moving average of new daily cases, which is shown here in this curve. You can see it's trending downward. We can also show you new hospital admissions in the area because of COVID, also a trend that is moving downward. In fact, on Monday, only 5 new COVID-19 patients were admitted to the hospital.
We're cautiously optimistic about the low numbers that we've been keeping. We know we'll probably never be at 0, at least until vaccine comes or until there's herd immunity.
Now, Dr. Garza calls all of this progress, the fact that we're reopening, exciting, but says we also need to stay cautious because the virus is not gone.